Major discussions taking place overnight with government and the People's Republic of China said to have gained significant ground. This as one of the hotel brands at Baha announces plans to increase its investment. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, coming off of a weekend of seeing more than 2,000 layoffs, finally some good news with the Baha issue. This as Prime Minister Christie reports progress in negotiations and talks overnight. It also comes as the SLS luxury brand places an idea on the table that could translate into good news for the struggling Bahamian Riviera. Clint Watson joins us live in studio tonight. Having spoken to the government and SLS executives, we've got some good news on the horizon in this ZNS News exclusive, right, Clint?
That's very correct, Chris. Well, Prime Minister Honorable Perry Christie says he's committed to bringing a resolution to the Baha issue.
The kinds of discussions that my people are having with the parties would require me not to say anything at this stage. We are really we've always wanted all of the parties to sit together, arrive at an amicable sort of conclusion to the talks, that everybody becomes then winners. If that doesn't happen, then we want the next best thing. We want whoever can in fact move forward and finish the property. We want them to do that because we want the property opened, we want the property marketed, we want Bahamians employed. And so we happen to know more than I'm now talking.
These developments have caused the Prime Minister to reiterate his optimism for a positive outcome and looks forward to good news coming in the not-too-distant future. The good news wasn't far away as executives from the luxury SLS group announced they're not going anywhere. SLS is positioned to brand and operate one of the hotels at Baha Riviera. Chairman of the group, San Nazarian, says he's very pleased with the design of the property, calling it unbelievably well, and says their position is this.
Not only are we excited about it, but I think more importantly, we'd like to do more within the campus of Baha.
And that more couldn't have come at a better time, according to the nation's leader. With Rosewood pulling out, that luxury property now needs a brand, and SLS appears to be up to the grabbing.
We would love to explore that option, yes. We think that the Rosewood property also was built at an unbelievable level of quality, and its positioning within the campus is unbelievably well with the other brands of Hyatt and the casino hotel itself. So, like I said, we'd love to do more, and whatever the final stakeholders will have us do, we'll do it willingly and with a lot of confidence moving forward.
They are in the process of negotiating an interest in another hotel chain, Morgan's, and that the Mondrian and others in it. And when they speak of another property and even looking at Rosewood, and Rosewood was sort of slated to be a 5-6-star hotel in that mix, that they have, I think they would be able to reach that standard based on what they are planning.
Now talks continue, and according to Prime Minister Christie, they won't stop until a resolution is reached, whether agreeably or not. He is also pushing to have construction mobilized before the end of the year. And speaking of construction, Chris and Charisma, we also learned from the Prime Minister that the $300 million reportedly needed to complete Baha has now actually doubled as a result of the deterioration of the property as it just sits idly by. Live in the studio, I'm Clint Watson. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Clint. Still on Baha news, the Attorney General reiterating the words of the Prime Minister that government remains committed to ensuring the opening of the Baha project. She, however, warned people not to play politics with this matter. Janine Ferguson has more.
Attorney General Senator the Honorable Allison Maynard Gibson maintains that the government has always acted in the best interests of Bahamians. There are those who are of the view that had the government refrained from getting involved in the Baha issues and allowed the company to proceed with its Chapter 11 filing for bankruptcy, the more than 2,000 workers would have not been disengaged last week and would have still had their jobs.
I don't want to talk about the matter that is before the court. All that I will say, and I will repeat what I said previously, and that I would urge persons not to play politics with people's lives, and especially the hopes and dreams of aspirations of our young people. I want to reiterate that the Prime Minister is leading the charge in this matter, and the government is working expeditiously, assiduously, and very, very hard on getting this project remobilized, open, and successfully operated so that these hopes and dreams and aspirations can come to fruition.
Now, when the provisional liquidators were appointed, one of their powers granted by the courts were to hire and fire employees. At the time, Prime Minister Perry Christie had also stated that he would step away from negotiations and allow the provisional liquidators to carry out their work.
The people of the Bahamas expect our Prime Minister, even with the liquidators carrying out their responsibility, which is directly to the court, to be able to give answers to them, and that is what our Prime Minister is doing.
Now, parties involved in the Baha dispute were expected to return to court on November 4th. That date, however, has been pushed back until the 24th. Maynard Gibson said the government remains optimistic that the resort will open. However, no date or timeline for that opening has been stated.
Every reason to reaffirm all that the Prime Minister has said, and that there is the commitment that this project should be finished, successfully so, and we are working very hard on bringing that to fruition with all of the relevant partners.
Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.